Hi, welcome to Mr. Otter Studio. Today we're going to be talking about movement in your drawings, and we're going to be using the figure as our subject. So I've been watching the Olympics lately, and I love watching how people can use their bodies and how strong they can be and just the ways that they can move and bend and twist and jump and how high they can get. So anyway, turn on the TV. I think the key to understanding movement is watching things move. Seeing how they change, how the weight shifts, how the center line moves. Leonardo da Vinci said, "The first thing you need if you want to grasp the motions of the human body is a knowledge of all of the parts, particularly the joints and every possible attitude that they might assume." So look at people. Our inspiration for today comes from the Rio Olympics 2016. The main image I'm using is from Getty Images, and it is of these two fencing men. The supplies that you need for this tutorial are just some paper and something to draw with. I'm going to be drawing with a colored pencil. Just don't use a pencil that you're going to keep erasing. The point of this is to not erase it. Let your eyes do most of the work so that you're looking more than you're drawing. Watch the Olympics. Watch how people move their bodies. I chose to draw these two men fencing. If you've never drawn the figure before, I'll just go over some really simple ways to draw it. So we have the classic stick figure. You can draw a stick figure that actually has shoulders and hips. You can draw a stick figure that has elbows and knees. If you want to draw a stick figure in motion, you can draw lines creating motion. Even the fact that it is tipping over makes it look like it's in motion. If they want to kick their leg up, when I'm looking at these Olympic athletes, what I'm doing is comparing parts to each other. Where is the head compared to the knee? Where is this arm under the knee? But if you want to go a little bit more advanced, then I'll show you how to draw the figure in motion in more of a gestural drawing. And these are a really good way to warm up for a big drawing that you're going to be doing. Here is some ways to add form to these figures. So here's the head, make it a little bit more oval, and the shoulders, we're just going to draw in this kind of rib cage here. And then the pelvic bone. The arms we'll just use as a stick in this one, and the joints will just indicate with these little lines. Here's a figure also. If you're drawing this type of figure, I like to draw an X on the forehead. This horizontal line indicates where the eyes are. This vertical line indicates where the nose is. Here's another one using a few more shapes. But this one's going to have arms. And when I draw arms and legs, I'm just using these shapes, these cone shapes. So as I'm drawing the figure, I'm going to be using more of these shapes to indicate where the muscles are in the bones. And that's because some of these people are coming towards us. And it's really hard to show a hand coming forward if we're drawing a stick figure, but it's easier to show if we're using these shapes. Here's some important angles of the figure to think about. Usually our neck comes out in this direction, and then we have our ribs, right, which come forward, and then our hips. Think about the backbone too, though. It does curve. And then we get our thigh, which curves forward. Our calf curves back, and then our foot. So the human body is like a spring that can bounce and move. Also think about the lines of motion. If we look at somebody that's kicking, you know, they've got a curve here, someone that's diving. Look at the lines that their bodies are making. All right, so I'm looking at this image of these two fencers. So we have one man here, but we know he's looking in this direction. So I'm just gonna indicate there's a chin there. Then I'm just gonna draw this big shape, the top of his torso. His hips are a little bit back here. Now his back is towards us. His arm is actually gonna come out of here. And I like to draw the head first because I compare everything else to it. So I know that this arm back here is shortened a little bit. It's got a hand there. This man is jumping. I'm just gonna quickly draw his leg, and I'm comparing this knee to this elbow to try to get it in the right place. And then this calf, I'm just gonna draw kind of this shape for his foot. And this leg is actually what's grounding him. So it's coming from the back. So he's moving forward. His head is going to be down a little bit, tucked forward, because he's moving in that direction. He's got his sword, moving it right in the direction of this fencer right here. So I'm just drawing the shape of his upper body, which actually kind of comes behind him. And his hips are back behind him. So I'm just overlapping these shapes. This arm is up very strongly behind him. This arm is tucked in and going forward like this. His body is facing us. So first let's get this leg in here, coming down. And remember that this leg is in the air, so it's okay that this leg is up. And then he is pretty stable and on the ground. And if you're worried about the feet and where they are, you can draw lines and just compare parts to each other. So this is the beginning of maybe a more detailed drawing. But these are really good practices for getting into drawing. You can add a little bit more details if you would like to. So there's going to be some folds in here because he's moving forward. A fold going across there. Sometimes I'll just indicate the folds to show what is in front and what is in back. So I've got some of these wrinkles in, and we can tell this guy is looking forward in this direction. He is wearing a mask, so we can't really see exactly what's going on in there. On your drawing, just go ahead and add some detail lines to show what's in front, what's behind. The more you erase, that's the more you're looking at your paper, and you want to be looking at the image of those figures and what they're doing. So the key to this is looking at what you're drawing more than at your paper and not erasing anything, just thinking of this as a practice. And you can add some motion lines, and you can draw the swords in if you want to. This sword is coming in and curving, and his sword, we can just see part of it is coming straight towards him. So now you know the basic practice. So now what I want you to do is watch the Olympics or look through photographs of one of your favorite sports. Maybe it's even you in the picture, and do some practices, do some gesture drawings to capture that motion. You know, more detailed, you can add a background if you want to. I might just make it a little darker around them. I hope this tutorial was what you were looking for, whoever requested this, and I hope you enjoy watching the Olympics. Have a wonderful day. I will see you around on YouTube.